I know most videos don't start off with a disclaimer, but I do realize that both of the artists that I am about to ask a question of did tour Canada fairly extensively in 2022. And I guess this video is more my disappointment as to what's coming than what was previous. It will make sense if you continue to watch. Hello and welcome once again, fellow vinyl aficionados. Welcome back once again to Eraser Records, and something a little different today. For those that watch the channel, you know I try and keep it fairly positive on here, but today I've got a little bit of a rant, and I'm going to do it Rick Mercer style. And for those that don't know, Rick Mercer was a Canadian presenter, for lack of the proper term. Used to do a great rant on his show. This hour is 22 minutes, and he used to walk around in a great alley in the middle of Toronto with a bunch of graffiti on it. I don't have graffiti, I just have my posters, so that's what you get today. But there has been building a mystery to me. And why I say that is because in the last little while there has been two fairly substantial tours announced by Canadian artists, and I'm talking specifically about Alanis Morissette and Sarah McLachlan. So two big Canadian artists that are playing a total of 3 dates in Canada on these tours. Sarah McLachlan has two. She has one in Toronto, which everybody plays, and then she also has one in Laval, Quebec. Alanis just has one, just Toronto. Now, more dates might get added down the line, and, then you can tell me to shut the hell up. But why is that? Why do especially Canadian artists only play a couple of Canadian dates? It's not like they're small tours, they're not huge, but they're pretty substantial tours. So I'm not sure what's going on, Alanis, why you're only playing one Canadian date. Again, maybe there'll be some more added down the line, I don't know, but still, I'm not sure. I don't get it. Is it the artist? Or is it some corporate weasel saying, no, let's just play Toronto. Or let's just play Toronto and maybe one place in Quebec. But they're not even playing Vancouver. And I think, and I could be wrong, Sarah McLachlan still lives somewhere in BC. So I'm not exactly sure why. Now, that is the gist of this. But I want to point out as a reference, I did get a chance to see a fairly substantial Canadian artist twice this year. I saw her and her band in Ottawa. And I saw her and her band in Saskatoon.
Come on, baby, tell me. You must be joking, right? Okay, so you got a car? That don't impress me.
Saskatchewan. Two Canadian places, for those that may be watching elsewhere. And in fact, she played a lot of Canadian cities twice on her Queen of Me tour, and that is Miss Shania Twain. So, Shania can do it. She's just as big as you guys. I'm not sure why you can't do it. Why only one, or in Sarah McLachlan's case, two Canadian dates? I just don't get it. There used to be some other acts in Canada that used to pull that as well, and I'm not sure why, because, we were here from the beginning, and we're still here, and yeah, I can travel to Toronto, and I can travel to Quebec to go and see these artists, but why should I have to travel that far? Even a Calgary or an Edmonton. We know we all skip over Saskatchewan, but somewhere a little bit closer. So anyway, I'm just trying to stick up for all Canadians. This open letter to you guys, Alanis Morissette and Sarah McLachlan, is someone explain to us why so few dates in Canada. Look, I've got my Pook Toque. That's made in Canada. I've got my Team Canada from the Olympics shirt from a few years ago. There are lots and lots of Canadian bands doing lots of Canadian tours. Don't get me wrong. That's not the case. That's not what this is about. This is specifically about, I guess, these two for right now. But there's been some other artists. So again, don't get me wrong. Lots of great Canadian artists playing all over the place, and make sure you go and see them. We know you're proud, or we hope you're proud to be Canadian, but why not get out there and play to us? I'm just not quite sure. I do find it a bit ironic.